Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, 1980's Six Schwedinnen hinter Gittern, which is roughly translated Six Swedish Rear Grills, or Six Swedes Behind Bars. I'm not exactly sure. My German tried to translate it, but here's the more interesting thing. The alternate title for this film is simply Ball Game. This film is from 1980, and what a unique review this is going to be, folks, because there's quite a bit of interesting mystery revolving around the two editions of this film. Now, this edition right here, obviously a German title, yet the film was filmed in California with spoken English with American actors. And this is part of the Erwin C. Dietrich collection, actually the Swedish collection, as it says at the top there. And this is one of these are the German region-free Blu-rays here. I can't show you close-ups on those too much. And as you know, I've reviewed other movies on this YouTube page of the 6 Swede films, the Swedish films that Erwin C. Dietrich directed, involving 6 Swedish girls going to school or going to the Alps. I have some more adventures coming up on this YouTube page, by the way, of some other 6 Swedes films. But interestingly enough, this particular film seems to have been put into that mix with a similar title, a German title, and then you get this photo on the front. It looks like a women in prison, pretty disturbing movie, which is weird in and of itself for a 6 Swedish film, because those other films for Erwin C. Dietrich are very light and fun and very, very sexual. If you look out the window here, you can see some snow. It looks like the Alps. So what is going on here? Now, we're going to talk about this a little bit more because I had to do my own research to get into this film a little bit. But let's get into this film. I have some notes written above me here. So let's get into this baby right here. This is a women in prison film meets almost full hardcore film meets sex comedy meets sex sports film. Whew. Got that? The warden of the prison is running for governor, and he's goofy, he's funny, he's he definitely played for some laughs. The girls are against the warden and the prison guards. Obviously, they want to get out. They want free time. They want a work furlough of sorts. Remind me a little bit of the film I reviewed in this YouTube page called Prison Girls back in the day. There is a baseball game in the film. Almost the usage of sex in this film is almost similar to another YouTube review that I did for a movie called Cheerleaders, the original. There is a very fun vibe to this film. There's that amazing cheap vibe that you get in 80s low budget shot on video horror almost. I mean, this is not shot on video, but you just get that really amazing low budget vibe, if you understand what I'm saying. And this was done in 1980, so you're getting you're entering into the 80s, and you're also getting a bit of the 70s, obviously. There is male domination and lies. Getting confronted by female prisoners. So a bit of some gender issues here, and some reason to challenge the male domination, okay? And the lies of the male domination. So let's get into this movie. First and foremost, we're going to look at the music for the film. The music in this film is quite diverse, and it's all over the place. We have suspense. We have porno sounding music. We have goofy music that you would hear in a sex comedy. We have weird synth sounds. We have a song with beaver power lyrics. It's a disco song about beaver power and about beating dicks. You soon find out that there's two baseball teams, the Beavers and the Dicks. There's slow, soothing jazz. There's video game sounding music that you could have heard in like a pinball game from the 70s or an early 80s Nintendo game. There's music with whistling in it. And there's an original sports chant done by the girls with baseball sounding music in the background. So lots of diversity in this film. I even read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that some of this is library music. Not exactly sure, but there's Groovy, definitely groovy, funky 70s sounding porno music in here as well, with a ton more. Now, we have talk about farting. We have bathroom stall sex filmed with amazing angles and definitely almost a how-to to have sex in a bathroom stall, especially when one of the women is much taller than the other one. We have some awesome a shot from the top. I believe it was the bathroom stall sex scene. Almost looked wide angle. We have slow motion in the film, and those sequences reminded me of some Erwin C. Dietrich films. Actually, we have an unbelievable workout lesbian sex baseball prep. Yeah, it was hot. It was really well done sexually. Never seen anything like it before. Yeah, again, workout, lesbian sex, baseball prep. Like physical prep, physical therapy. We have vibrator lens flare. And the vibrator's used on a guy's penis. We have spotlight dark lighting. As I stated, a vibrator orgy to one man's penis. Yes, multiple vibrators, multiple vibrator lens flares. We have faces and hands, which are the focus for the heterosexual sex. More on that later. We have through the bars sex, through the prison bars sex. Never seen it this much before. Every position, male and female, actually through the prison bars. We have the Beavers versus the Dick sports teams. As I stated before, we definitely have very, very sexually explicit, as I like to call, porno talk. Very sexual, kind of very, very vulgar talk in the film. And amusing and entertaining and possibly hot. We have creative use of the prison guard sticks, the batons, and possibly involving insertions into vagina. We have an awesome poster on the wall eye trick. What does that mean, you ask? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. We have the biggest cigars that I've ever seen. I'm not talking about penises. I'm talking about actual lit cigars. The movie starts right away with sex within minutes. Minutes. The interesting thing is there are no actor credits in this film at all for the credits for the movie, and they're speaking English. It's not dubbed. And there's a quote somewhere in the prison that states, "A clean hole is a good hole." And we end the film with female sexual power over the lying men. And the females ultimately have the power. We have small sets. And when you go outside, you do see palm trees. And here's the interesting thing here. We have hardcore sex when it involves women. But with heterosexual, you don't see penis in the vagina, but you see an erect penises. You see hands on the penises, but you don't see any ejaculation. You don't see penises in the mouth or in the vagina, even though you know it's happening. But everyone is obviously having sex because you see some cuts that were not exact, and the cuts are made into the music too. It's not like they even loop the music over the cuts. I mean, the film was just, these cuts were made in the sexual scenes, the heterosexual scenes. So I was watching this, I'm like, this is really interesting. Like, I recognize some people in here from other adult films in the 70s and 80s, like Candida Royale, but why no actor credits, and why are these cuts with just the heterosexual sex? I mean, the lesbian sex is very hardcore. So, very interesting. Never seen anything like it before. I got to be honest with you. And the girls were very sexy. The girls were awesome. Loved them. Attractive. They were just great bodies. Everything. So let's get into some more research on this film. Upon researching more of this film, I realized not only is it totally unknown, but that it was filmed as an X-rated film with all of the sex intact, and that is the version called Ball Game, the American title Ball Game, which is really hard to find, but you can get it on like adult DVD sites like Adult DVD Empire, such like that. It adds about 11 more minutes onto the film because this film is 77 minutes, And the ball game version has another 10 minutes of the, I guess, the hardcore heterosexual sex. But it's very interesting because it's a very, very explicit film in this version. And you know what they're doing. But it's like cutting right before the penis is in the vagina, or right before it's in the mouth, right before those shots. Very, very interesting. Now, it says that written and directed by Anne Perry. Well, that is not an alias, folks. That is an actual person. Supposedly, I did some research, a female adult film director who actually was started off her life in a convent to be a nun. This is, just doing some research online. Hoping it's true. If you have any other comments on that. And she met her husband in convent, got out of Catholicism, and went into sex films, softcore and hardcore, and even became the first female president of the Adult Film Association. Now, on the Blu-ray, it just says Ann Perry, but if you look on IMDb under Ball Game, it says Erwin C. Dietrich also. Now, this is an Erwin C. Dietrich presentation, it says on here. But why? What is he presenting? Is he presenting this alternate title with the alternate cut? It's just an alternate cut. It's not as hardcore as Ball Game. For a different market, obviously marketing it for the Swedish series, even though this is not Sweden. These are not Swedish girls. These are famous adult film stars from the golden age of porn, the 70s and 80s. But as this version, I have not seen Ball Game yet, but as this version, the way it is right here, super sexy, super awesome, and never seen anything like it. So if Erwin C. Dietrich cut this to this version, I've never seen a film that had hardcore lesbian, but not hardcore heterosexual, yet still very, very sexual. I mean, this would still be X-rated, triple X-rated, whatever they call it. But you also have a sex comedy, and you also have a women in prison, and you also have like a sports sex comedy, like all the greats, like Hots. And it just reminds you of like that 80s sex comedy feel of other movies I reviewed in this page, like Loose Screws and Summer Job. And so it's really unique genres mixing in here. And then when you have the cut and you find out more about this film, the mystery just keeps on going. I absolutely love this film. Like I said, I have not seen the Ball Game version yet, but some people online, when they talk about this film, they interchange it with Ball Game as if it's the same film. Well, it's not. It's not. Because of like 11 minutes of cuts in this version. Still hardcore, but just different. Not full. But really, really creative sexual sequences, and pretty funny and pretty wild, and definitely something for the people that might not want all the hardcore stuff. This could be something that could definitely be in there. And it just has a great feel, great vibe, that low budget feel, and it just has it all. It's just really, really awesome. I'll show you a couple shots that I can show here. I recently found the lobby card set on eBay and got it for like $13. It was the only one out there from Germany. Pretty wild, of this version. Can't find anything for Ball Game except for some posters on eBay that go for like $1,000. Folks, thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarre YouTube page, where I talk about films like this that I believe need to be talked about more. Really love this one. Thank you so much, and have a good night.